my to-go-to store, and even though I was in the beginning of my vinyl journey, they definitely helped me out a lot. So yeah, it does sadden me that they are closing.
I think a lot of people will miss this store because it was the most unique store in terms of what it provided to its customers in the area.
Bittersweet. I mean, I'm glad that he's going to enjoy retirement, but sad to see such a great store go.
So, it's sad to see him go. I mean, I'm glad they're still going to be online, they're still going to exist in some kind of format, but it's not going to be the same as like driving down on a Saturday afternoon and, spending your afternoon looking at records. But I did manage to get some good ones on the way out.
We were kind of forced out of the successful shop on the corner of Sunrise and Federal. The air conditioner was going down. That was going to cost me 10 grand. Plus we lost our big parking area. The parking company was charging $4 an hour, and there was nowhere to park to go to the shop. So I had to make a decision pretty quick. I only had a month left on my lease, so I had to either decide if I was going to rough it out at the new space and pay 10 grand for an air conditioner or look for a new space. And I found what I thought was a really cool space. And I always believed that if you made a cool shop that, people would come. If you build it, they will come. But as it turned out, I was wrong, because the shop was really cool and we had lots of product. But the numbers just weren't good enough to meet the rent and payroll and all that. And so I decided to close and move on. I had a great 30 years in the record business, loved every day at work, met so many cool people, had cool people working for me, saw kids come in at 8 years old, and then 10 years later at 18, and 10 years later at 28. So it was a great experience, no regrets. Well, now I'm in a cool little office park. It's small, but everything's brand new. The guy just bought the building and has renovated everything. I have 24-hour access, and it's 5 minutes from my house, so it couldn't be better. But the biggest shock from closing the store was that I didn't realize how much of my social life revolved around the people I knew from the shop. And not seeing all those people on a weekly basis now is, it's just kind of hard. I made so many friends there, and now I don't see many of those people anymore, so it's kind of a bummer. But I don't mind the Discog thing. Well, Discogs is a website that is focused exclusively on recorded music, records, CDs, cassettes, even some 8-tracks, I think, and like concert DVDs, I think, are pretty much the only inventory you'll find on there. It's very easy to list things on there. Everything's automated, of course. Someone buys it, they pay with PayPal. I get a message that the invoice has been paid, and then I pack the record and ship it. I've only bought one collection since I closed the shop, and it turned out to be a real moneymaker. So now I'm going to start putting some feelers out to buy more records. Paid down my debt more than half in 1 year, so pretty happy about that. And so the goal is to finish paying off the debt and then maybe keep doing it and make $15,000, $20,000 a year for myself. I think there's always going to be a group of people who want to go into physical record shops. Now, whether if that group of people is going to be enough to keep more and more record shops afloat, we'll have to see, I guess. But Records are everywhere now, so it just makes it tougher on everyone. I think the best way to go for it is a small shop that doesn't try to be everyone's CD or record store, which is what, I always wanted to have something for anyone. If the Doris Day fan walked in the store, I wanted to have that Doris Day record. I wanted classical music. I wanted, French pop or whatever we could find, so that if someone walked in, we could say, oh yeah, we have some of that. I think that's probably the wrong way to go now. I think you should just have pretty much a curated shop or a well-stocked shop with good records and not a lot of junk records that people can buy for $1. And I still like to look at records and buy records, and I told you I just got the great collection. It was, it's a real buzz to get a good collection of records. And for me, even when we had the shop, that the buzz wasn't like, oh boy, we're gonna make a lot of money from these records. It was like, oh boy, people are gonna be so excited when they walk in and see that, that early Velvet Underground edition or, some first press jazz record. That was the buzz for me. Open your ears and your heart to new stuff. And me, when I was in high school, I was, into Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, Aerosmith, Roxy music, Bowie, big time. I went to a friend's house way in the country. It was just kind of a real backwoods kind of environment this guy lived in, but he had an incredible stereo system, and he played this bluegrass country record by Gene Parsons, who was a drummer for the Byrds. And he did this record on which he plays almost all the instruments, but it's some Cajun in there, bluegrass, country songs. I had never really listened to much country music at that point. For a while with that record, I was bringing it to parties, and I still have that copy, and it's still a record that's close to my heart. So that opened me up to like British folk music, bluegrass music, Cajun music, that one record. So that's why I say, like, keep an open mind, buy a record because it's got a cool cover. Buy a record because you know one person on it. Just keep your mind open and listen. Keep these little shops open. When they're all gone, everybody's gonna miss it. Everybody's gonna miss it if there's no more brick and mortar stores. So go to your local record store as much as you can, and don't walk out without buying something, even if you only spend $5. 20 people spend $5, that's $100. So how about these independent shops and keep them going? I'm selling records on Discogs. Don't buy from me. Go to a local shop and buy the record there.